Hi, this is Sweet June, coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Back from my jailbreak. YouTube had me in jail for a week. Check out my other video if you didn't get a chance to check that out. It's talking about YouTube locking me down. Glad to be back. I mean, it's one thing for me to take my own break. Sometimes I take my own little breaks. But it's one thing for YouTube to give me a break. Because then it's like when I'm like, oh, I want to post a video. Can't do it. So, a little bit of a wake-up call. We work for YouTube. You know, we work for Google. We don't work for ourselves. We work for Google. They got their nerve. They're making money off of our content. Figure out a way to start my own platform. But that's something to think about. Anyway, I want to talk about I'm just getting a little tired of I want to straighten the record out, you know. I'm getting a little tired of men saying in the blogs and everything on YouTube, whatever, social media. Men saying in social media, saying this quote to women. You can't get a man because you fill in the blanks. I notice they always say that, particularly black men always saying that to black women. You can't get a man because you old. You can't get a man because you fat. You can't get a man because you broke. I was on a blog. Can't remember which one it was, or somebody else. I was commenting on somebody else's video. Can't remember which video it was. But anyway, the man came in and said to me, well, why are you overweight and broke? This guy didn't even know me, so I don't even know how he even knew that. Unless he checked out my channel. If he checked out my channel, I guess, and looked at enough of my videos, I guess he would probably put two and two together. But this wasn't on my channel. This was on someone else's channel that I was commenting on. And he said, well, why are you? I laughed because he said, why are you broke? Why are you broken over? I was like, he don't know me. So, you know, I thought about it. I didn't answer it at first. And I thought about it and I said, well, I'm sure I could still pull a man. I said that was the first. I can't remember what else I said. I said I'm still. Oh, I said something about I wasn't looking or something like that. So, but I noticed that, particularly black men, you know, they're always saying things to black women to break down our self-esteem, to cut us down, break down our self-esteem. A lot of them are bitter and broken men. You know, they're bitter and they're broken. A lot of black men are bitter and broken, and that's why they feel the need to come on social media and consistently bash black women because they're bitter and broken. But that's another video topic. Stay tuned. I'm gonna talk about that. But they always say, well, you can't get a man because of this. You can't get a man because of that. You're old. You're overweight. You're broke. You, whatever reason that they fill in the blank. Whatever reason they want to say why you can't get a man. So I'm here to say this. Any woman can get a man. Any woman can get a man. Because sometimes that's because women in general, let's take race out of it for a minute and just talk about women in general. Women in general, there's a lot of pressure on women to stay beautiful, to maintain a certain weight, to maintain a certain beauty standard, to and as women age and women get older, women are looked down upon more as they age. As we get older, we're looked down upon more than whereas men it's a double standard. Of course, there's a bunch of double standard, but it's a double standard because as women get older, women are looked down upon. Oh, you old and you can't, what I'm saying? So, all kinds of things are said about women as we get older, whereas it's different for men. As men get older, it's, everybody, we all know that it's a double standard. So women in general, it's a lot of pressure on women to be beautiful and, weigh a certain amount and all that. And if you're not within those parameters for whatever reason, or now men are saying that if a woman is over 30, then she hasn't landed a husband before she was 30, then it's too late. This is what Kevin Samuels says. This is why women shouldn't listen to him. This is why women should stop calling him. Because all he's doing is breaking down women's self-esteem. He's saying that he always consistently says, and his little minions in his comment section say the same thing. His little followers say the same thing. Kind of remind me of that Jim Jones type situation. His sheep, they that follow him, they say the same thing because they agree with everything he says. If a woman is over 30, she's washed up. It's too late for her. It's too late for her to be married. It's too late for her to get a man, which is not true. It is not true. It's plenty of women that have gotten married over the age of 30. You know what I mean? It's this it just sends out a horrible message to women, that they said this one young lady was on Instagram. This one young lady, I wish that women would stop doing that stuff on Instagram. It's too much pressure. You know what I'm saying? These women that Instagram models. I guess she was an Instagram model. Women should stop doing that. It's too much pressure. It's just too much. Now, yeah, you can be on Instagram, but you don't have to be an Instagram model. You know what I mean? And she was only 30 years old, and she committed suicide. Caucasian young lady committed suicide because she thought that it was too late for her to marry and start a family. And I just kind of, when I seen that, I just kind of teared up a little bit. And I'm like, oh, baby girl, no, it wasn't too late. And the first thing I thought was, I hope she wasn't listening to that Kevin Samuels. I said, that's the first thing that popped in my head. I said, I hope she wasn't listening to that Kevin Samuels. I said, because, and this is the message that these men are sending out. It's a terrible message. And if women really, really let that marinate and get it all in their spirit and break their self-esteem down, they would really hold on to those words. It is really detrimental. This is why women should not be calling that man. They shouldn't. They shouldn't be consulting him at all. But that's not true. There's plenty of women that get married over the age of 30. All that is just not true, you know. It's based on opinions. And I'm the type of person, I believe anything is, I'm the type of person that I believe that anything is possible. Anything is possible. Because sometimes sometimes I talk to myself, but then I self-talk, if it makes any sense. Self-talk means that you give yourself encouragement. You encourage yourself. You kind of be your own cheerleader in a sense. You give your own self encouragement. And I think I suggest that everybody does that, because that's good. Do a form of self-talk and just kind of lift yourself up. So I do that a lot. I don't do it a lot, but I do it. Kind of in a sense be your own cheerleader. So I try to tell myself, it's not too late. And that's not necessarily as far as the marriage situation, but some of the other things, that I would like to do in my life. I just tell myself, because I get down in the dumps because of everything that's going on with me physically and just getting older. Getting older in itself can be depressing. And so you have to do that self-talk along with talking to God and talking to God and self-talking, and just kind of between the two lift your spirits up. But what happens is when you let someone talk down to you like that, that's not helping you. That's just breaking your self-esteem down even more, and it makes it harder for you to give yourself that encouragement. You know what I mean? So I just, when I heard that about that young lady, I just, I teared up. It was just so sad. And men needs to stop sending that terrible message to women. It is not too late. After 30, it's not too late. Because a lot of times sometimes women aren't ready to be married in their 20s. Heck, I probably wasn't ready to be married in my 20s. In my 30s either, sometimes we think we're ready, but we're not. There's some growth. There's some growth and maturity that needs to take place. Some spiritual growth that needs to take place. Sometimes we need to grow spiritually. And sometimes we just haven't lived long enough to learn certain things. Sometimes it's things in life that we need to learn, lessons we need to learn. We need to gain more wisdom, more knowledge, grow into a certain amount of maturity. And when you're in your 20s, you're just kind of getting to know yourself as an adult. You just kind of get used to being an adult and getting to grow into yourself and getting a sense of yourself in your 20s. So a lot of people aren't ready to be married in their 20s. So I would say this, like I said, any woman can get a man. Any woman can get a man. It doesn't matter how she looks. It doesn't matter how much she weighs. It doesn't matter what race she is. Let me repeat that. It doesn't matter what race. It doesn't matter how old you are. Okay? It doesn't matter how much money. I've seen homeless people. It's this channel on here I watch. It's called Invisible People, where this man, he goes around and he interviews a lot of the homeless people and find out what their story is. I suggest you go take a look at that channel. It's a real eye-opener. He talks to different homeless people, and they all have different stories. Some of them are college educated, and everybody got a story. And so I've seen where he talked to couples. He interviewed couples. Both of them are homeless, but they're couples. Okay? And then he interviewed this one woman, and she said and then she said, well, I met my husband or my boyfriend here out here on the street. She was homeless and met her man out there in the street. He was homeless too. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter it don't matter how much money you got. Okay? Any woman can get a man. I've seen all types of women. I've seen all types of women of all different shapes, all different sizes, all different ages, different races have a husband. They had either a mate or they had a husband. A woman can get a man. I'm telling you. It was a 60-year-old black woman, 60-year-old black woman. A few months ago, I read about the 60-year-old black woman that got married. And they showed a picture of him. Oh, and he was so handsome. That man was so handsome. She said she'd been waiting for years. 60 years old. And she looked great. She looked fabulous. She looked good. They both looked good. And she found her husband, you know. Well, she didn't. He found her. Correction. He found her. 60 years old. And then I've heard of cases of women getting married older than that. They go to the nursing home and then found them a man in the nursing home. Yes, it happens. I'm telling you. Women find boyfriends and husbands in nursing homes. Hello? In a nursing home? I've seen all types of women get married. Women that were in wheelchairs, handicapped women. I've seen all kinds of women of all different races and all walks of life get mated up. They got a husband or they got a mate. So men, you need to stop saying a woman can't get a man. You can't get a man, fill in the blank. You can't get a man because you broke. You can't get a man because you old. You can't get a man because, or according to you, you ugly, according to you. And that's another thing. It's another point I want to make. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Just because you don't find a particular woman attractive does not mean someone else doesn't find her attractive. Speak for yourself. Just because if you look at a woman and you don't find her attractive, you can't say, well, you're ugly and no man's going to want you. No, first of all, you can't speak for all men. Speak for yourself. You can't speak for all men. You can only speak for yourself. Just because you don't find that woman attractive does not mean that nobody else finds her attractive. Because just, you know, that you may not find her attractive, but another man might look at her and be like, she's a dime. You know what I mean? So beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I know everybody has heard that saying. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So, you know, I still get men looking at me. Because my sister, she kind of got on my case. She said, it's these guys that's across the street from my mom. And, you know, I'm going through things, and sometimes half the time I don't even want to be bothered because I'm not looking for no man anyway, you know. So I'm just kind of going on my merry little way. And these guys, they be like, they be looking at her too, but they be looking at me. I was like, you know, I said that they don't need to be looking. Sometimes I get a little irritated, you know. And she say, no, you should be happy that they're looking at you. You know, you should always want a man to notice you. And I said, after she got done, to make a long story short, after she got done saying all that, and I was like, okay, yeah, I do. It's flattering. I'm still flattered. But I'm at the age where, you know, I'll take it or I'll leave it. Sometimes I want to leave it because, you know, sometimes I just don't want, you know, the hassle. Or, you know, or sometimes a guy looks at me and I'm like, what the heck is he looking at? It dawned on me, oh, he might find you attractive. So I still get, you know, men, I still be turning heads because, okay, you know, I'm beautiful. And I have this thing called personality, charm. I can carry on a conversation with a man, and after I get done talking to that man, he gonna want my number, I guarantee you. I have this thing called charm and personality. I do. Believe it. Believe me, I do. I do. And I happen to know how to talk to men. I do know how to talk to men. I know how to talk to them. Yes, I do. Hello, I do. And I'm just a nice person. I'm a nice person. You know, I'm a nice person. I'm a good person. I'm a nice person. So why wouldn't I attract a man? So these guys here on YouTube, they're bitter. They're bitter and they're broken. So and I told them I could still pull a man, and I could, even being in the situation that I'm in. The question is just getting someone that I like, you know, because I'm a witness, so I'm not trying to get someone in the world anyway, but you know, just getting the right one for me and getting someone that's compatible with me, you know, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, you know, any woman can get a man, any woman, because like I said, I've seen them all, different types of women. Okay, average looking, you know, on below or above. Average looking, I don't like to use that one word. Average looking, below or above. I've seen all types of women get men, have a boyfriend or a husband of all different races. And so men need to quit saying that. Men just, it's like you know, you think about, look in the mirror at yourself and look at why you're saying that. You're bitter and you're broken. Because all that stuff is just simply not true. Any woman on this planet can get a man. I guarantee you, any woman on this planet. It doesn't matter how old she is. Because there's older women that's in their 60s and 70s and they still get hit on because that's how they carry themselves, and they look good. And believe it or not, a lot of younger men are attracted to older women. Believe it or not. Okay? So that's just what I wanted to say. It's like I hear guys saying that all the time, particularly black men to black women. And it's just a way of trying to break down our self-esteem. They're trying to break down our self-esteem, break our spirit, break down our self-esteem, and try to tell us we're not worthy. And we all know that other races of men are checking for us, and that's increasing, and that's getting to be more and more. Hello? I've got a lot of compliments on here from white guys. I've had a lot of comments. A lot of white guys come in here and say, yes, you know, they found me attractive. And some black guys, but way more white guys than black guys. When I get insulted on here, it's usually coming from black men. You know, but I get some compliments from black men, but most of the compliments I get on here is usually from a white man. White men, believe it or not. So white men are very attracted to black women, but that's a whole nother video. Let me know, hit me up in the comment section what you think about that. Ladies, I especially want ladies to sound off in the comment section. Hit that subscribe button and that like button and that share button. Until the next video, peace and love. This is Sweet Jill.